The Mobile County Public School System presents Homeroom with Nancy Pierce.
Hello and welcome to Homeroom. I'm Nancy Pierce, Public Relations Supervisor for the Mobile County Public School System. And we have a lot to talk about with our fabulous Terrence Mixon, who is sitting to my right. Terrence is the Executive Director of Student Support Services.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And you're going to have to do most of the talking because I'm losing my voice.
Okay.
But how's the year been so far?
So far, so good. Busy as always.
Of course.
You know, in Student Support Services, there are 6 departments.
So let's go through those
Okay.
departments.
We have the at-risk programs, which include a twilight school at all our high schools, a redirect program at all of our middle schools, as well as Star Academy and Pathway. So at-risk is one department. School nurses is out of Student Support Services, guidance counselors, attendance officers, transportation, and student discipline.
And you're over all of that.
That's correct.
Wow, how do you do that?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge, but the one thing is we have great people that's in charge of each department, fabulous employees that work in those departments. So all I have to do is make sure I keep them happy, and we can get the job done.
Good deal. How many people do you have in your department?
If you count transportation and the nurses, transportation alone has 700.
Oh my goodness.
And then we have about roughly 100 nurses. I would say we're right close to about 900 employees in Student Support Services, right? When you count up everybody, the clerks, the nurses, everybody.
So you are a very, very busy man.
Yes, ma'am. And then we have to filter the parent calls as well.
Sure, of course. Talk about Twilight just a little bit and the at-risk programs, because I'm not sure everybody really knows about all of those.
What every high school has on its campus is a Twilight School program. It started out as a program for kids who had found themselves in trouble at school and couldn't go to school during the regular school day, where rather than bus them across the county to some standalone facility, we were able to fund a program where every high school could run its own quote-unquote alternative school on its campus. The principal decides what happens when the kid goes in or what kind of discipline he or she may have done to cause them to go into Twilight School. It's a computer-based system. They take all of their classes online, and it's every afternoon from 3:30 till about 6:30.
My. How do the kids like it? Do they like doing online studies?
Believe it or not, some absolutely love it. You don't have the distractions of, lunchtime, changing classes, pep rallies, and that type of thing. Of course. And when some get in, and believe it or not, they don't even want to come back to regular school.
Right.
And another thing the principals did with Twilight schools, they saw it as an opportunity where kids who may have had credit deficits can come after school and get caught up or make up. So we still have some students that go to school all day and they stay to Twilight school to get caught up on credit. So it's really turned into a real positive thing for our schools.
And you have Pathway?
We have Pathway also. Pathway houses our Star Academy as well as our alternative school for our 7th and 8th graders. Star Academy, as you remember, is a program for over-age 9th graders where we compress the 8th grade and half of the 9th grade year into one school year. And we do have those students on one campus so that when that kid who's over age reaches high school, he has about 4.5 credits under his belt. And we feel as though he stands a better chance at not dropping out if he arrives on the high school campus already ahead of the game, so to speak.
I like the fact that there are those options for these kids so that they can continue.
Well, it's so necessary.
Right.
One of the things that our superintendent is really big on, as you know, is multiple pathways.
Right.
So we found that Twilight School has kind of morphed from just being an alternative program into an alternate pathway, as well as our Star Academy. We have our first class of Star Academy students graduating this year. And we feel like we served as a catalyst for them being successful in high school.
Sure. I think that's great.
It's been very positive.
There's also something for middle school kids.
Yeah, we have a program called Redirect at all of our middle schools. We piloted that program this year for the first time, and it's been really positive. Now, what they are able to do is use it in lieu of suspension. Rather than have to suspend a student from school, the administrators have the option of letting them stay after school for detention, running a Saturday school program, or doing a combination of all of that. And what the funds allow administrators to do is pay staff to be there with the students
Sure.
after school, or to pay tutors for a Saturday school, and just someone there to supervise the kids while they're on campus.
And are they also working with their classes?
Yes, ma'am. They
Okay,
are.
so that's
They are.
all.
Mhm.
'Cause-
That's all included in it, and we have one program at Scarborough Middle School that's closely resembles Twilight School, where those kids, they don't come to school during the day. They go to school in the evenings because, again, they've done something that
Right.
they shouldn't have done. And that's been really successful as well. And bus transportation is even offered for those students.
And I think that's the program that the Fuse Project
Correct. That's
helped
correct. That's correct.
so much.
Right.
And
They've really been
they
instrumental
have.
in it.
They have, and it's great. And they're going to continue to do things. But anyway, another thing we really need to talk about is online registration.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody has to register online.
Absolutely.
And is this the first year for everybody, or is it the second year?
This is the second year.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, this is the second year. You know, it's kind of been an uphill
Right.
challenge
Oh, yeah.
to get everybody on board, staff, parents, students, just everybody on board with online registration. But now I think if you would ask anybody, certainly any registrar that works in a school, they would not want to go back to paper.
No.
Online has been great. It's about to get started again within the next week or so. Parents, if they have any questions, all they have to do is contact their schools to get their usernames and logins. But we have officially done away with paper registration.
I think that's great.
We're excited about
I mean,
it.
that is great. When you get online, what kind of questions? I mean, first of all, how big is the application? How
Okay.
large is it? How much? What do you have to put in?
Well, it's several pages, and it's the normal information: name, address, telephone number. If you are a new student to Mobile County Public Schools, regardless of the grade, if you were not in our schools last year, there's a site for that parent to go in and set up all of their information.
Okay.
So for the first time, they would put in their name, address, telephone number, who are the guardians in charge of this student. Are there any special medical circumstances of which we need to be aware? Sometimes we have, if there's a need for bus transportation in there, that's included. Now we took out the lunch thing because now all of our students
Everybody
eat free.
gets lunch, that's right.
So we were able to remove that. Now for returning students, if they click on returning, all they do is go in and update any changes. If they have a new address, if they have a new telephone number, if for some reason the guardian changes.
That's easy.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
that is
is.
so
It
easy. It
is
would not
easy.
take long at all.
It's-
We're going to talk more about
Okay.
registration, pre-registration, and some other things too, but we need to take a break, so we'll be right back. You stay with us.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Drownings are the #1 cause of accidental death for young children. Simple safety steps are the best way to prevent these tragedies. Make sure kids learn how to swim. Designate an adult water watcher to watch kids in and around water. Save the phone calls and texts for when the kids are out of the water. Properly fence all pools with fences at least 4 feet high and with self-closing, self-latching gates. When above-ground pools aren't in use, remove the ladders. When pools aren't in use, cover them. Teach kids to stay away from drains. And if a child is missing, check the pool or spa first. Consider the steps you take, then add a few more. Because you never know which pool safety step will save a life. Until it does. Simple steps save lives. To learn some new ones, visit poolsafely.gov.
Welcome back. We're finding out all about not early registration, but we can talk about that too, but registration online, and it's great if you need to register your child And joining me again is Terrence Mixon, the Executive Director of Student Support Services, who wears 9 different hats because he has so many different departments under him. Amazing. And I love this paperless registration.
Sure.
I remember in the past, oh my, we would have people who had not registered, they'd go down to the Civic Center.
Right.
And that they were not happy about that.
Well, if you remember, we did a central registration out here.
Oh, I remember that very well, Terrence.
For some of our parents who wouldn't go to their school.
Right. It was so hot that day.
Right.
And they showed up very early.
Right.
And we're standing in line and standing in line and standing in line because, you can only do so much. I mean, so many at a time. And I think they got there very early before it even started.
Right.
So this takes all of that away.
Well, it certainly can. Now, here's the thing with online registration.
Uh-oh.
Even when you register online, every school has different things they would like for their parents to do.
Oh.
So, for instance, if there's a need to pay fees,
Okay.
a parent still needs to come up to the school to do that. If they need to pick up their child's schedule, there's still a need to come to the school to do that as well. Textbooks, they would still have to come up to the school to get those things done.
But that's different. I mean,
It is.
Those things don't require that much time. It's just getting to the school, but you don't have to fill out all that paperwork and stuff that takes
They
forever.
don't. If we could get all of our parents to just not procrastinate,
Right.
and when the school schedules a time for you to pay your fees, pick up textbooks, get your schedule, try to follow that as closely as you can. But now schools, they've become real good about allowing parents to just walk in, trying to avoid the first day of school rush.
Right. Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's a lot better than it has been.
It is.
But we still have just a small cadre of parents who will not come and do it during the summer. So we would love for everybody to do it.
Well, and, when I visit schools the very first day, which is so much fun, we've already got teaching and learning going on.
Exactly.
It's not that, I remember when I was in school, which was long ago, I don't think we probably started on a whole lot. A lot of times we'd start after Labor Day and kids still wouldn't be there.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
you walk into school now here in Mobile County and you will see those kids engaged in what the teacher is talking about.
From day one.
From day one.
From
And that's
day
why
one.
it's so important to get there.
It is. We're one of the few districts, I think, in the state now that still has a 180-day calendar for students. We believe in instructional days, and we didn't reduce our number of days just based on that calendar flexibility option that we had.
What do other schools do? Do they only do 160, 170?
Well, we have some that are doing 175,
Okay.
172, but they may have longer hours during the day. They still have to meet that academic requirement of 6 hours of instruction.
Sure.
But they have found kind of different ways to accomplish that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when does all this start? Online registration has
Online
already started?
registration, well, the system at this point just needs to be turned on. We had to go in and make our adjustments and tweaks and whatnot, as we do with everything. Update some of the old information. So we hope to have it turned on by early next week.
Oh, good.
They still should contact their schools and see when that school would like for their parents to register. Now, for our parents who may not have internet access, some of our schools all of our schools set up times where parents can come in, someone will work with them to complete their online registration right there on the campus.
What about going to the library? Because the library I know has computers
Do it at the
too.
library or anywhere where there's internet access.
Yeah.
You can go sit in anywhere that has Wi-Fi.
Sure.
And get your registration done.
I love it because it helps your office, your department, your division.
It absolutely does.
So much.
Yes.
What about the blue card, our blue health card?
Well, we still, and I'm thinking you're talking about the shot records.
Yes.
The immunizations.
Yes.
Yeah. The Department of Human Resources and the Health Department still require that we maintain blue cards. Students bring that information in.
Okay.
We do scan it into a file called DocuShare. DocuShare is where every student has a digital file. So at some point we will stop moving cumulative folders. But the blue cards we still have to keep hard copies of the blue cards.
Okay.
And our nurses are charged with making sure that everybody's immunizations are up to date. You know, immunizations are one of the few things where a student can be denied enrollment
Right.
if his immunizations are not up to date.
So this is going to start hopefully next week.
Yes.
And I'm sure we'll have things on the web. I mean, I know there are things on the web right now about online registration, but we'll make sure that everybody knows, and we'll tweet and we'll Facebook and do everything we can to let the parents know. And hopefully they'll want to get it done as soon as possible.
I certainly hope so.
You know, the shots have always been kind of interesting to me because, you know, we'll start talking about get your immunizations,
Right.
and all of a sudden it's 2 days before school and there's a huge line at the health department.
It's the same
So
scenario.
just get it done as soon
Absolutely.
as you can.
Absolutely.
And get it out of the way, right?
Absolutely. That's right. You know, with everything, if parents would just kind of follow the schedule.
Right.
And certainly don't wait till the first day of school to
know.
do it. Yeah.
It is rather strange. Now, we start going on 4 10-hour days this summer
That's
again.
Correct. That's correct.
So I know we'll have some summer school. They won't go 10 hours a day. They never
No,
do.
No.
But it's just for those of us who work 12 months out of the year.
Correct.
And so we're gearing up for that. But I think it's really cool that you're doing a big push on the online registration.
Well, we're certainly trying.
Yeah.
We call our parents through the voice messaging
Right.
system. We have a tutorial online for anybody who needs help
Sure.
with getting through it. And certainly my staff, the school staffs, are available to answer questions and be of any kind of assistance
Right.
if anybody needs help.
As far as nurses, do we have a nurse in every school?
We do not. And I had to learn this myself. You would think that we would have enough to have one in every school, but it depends on the acuity level of
Right.
the student. We do have some one-on-one situations for our students that need it. And so that nurse has to stay with that one kid
Right.
from the time he boards the bus until he returns back home. And so when that happens, that's one nurse taken out of
Sure.
the mix, so to speak. But all of our schools are covered by a registered nurse in some form or fashion. All of our schools are.
Well, that's good. That's really
Oh,
good.
it's great. It's great.
It'd be wonderful if we could have a nurse at every school.
Hopefully we
But
can get to that point.
That would be great.
Right.
That would be
It's
really
needed.
great. Transportation kind of, I think, blows everybody's mind because we have, how many buses? 600 or 500?
Yeah, well, we have 578.
Now, we don't use all of them. Some of them are kind of,
Well, now the 578 we do use.
We do use
every
those,
day.
okay.
We have about 700 in the fleet.
okay.
Right.
And those used in case a bus breaks down? or-
Exactly.
Okay. That is incredible.
It is. It's huge. Our superintendent often talks about running one of the largest transit systems
Yes.
in the state, and we really do. They travel tens of thousands of miles a day, and well into the millions of miles over the course of a year. Yeah.
I mean, that is unbelievable.
They sure do.
And then same thing with lunches. We also,
right.
I know Miss Peak always says, we're the biggest cafeteria or whatever, biggest
Yeah.
restaurant in the whole state, if not in the
yeah,
whole
it's
country.
great.
But it does amaze me. Counselors, I know they have gotten into a lot of other things, but you know, are they there to help the kids, especially the senior counselors, look at scholarships, get into school?
They do. You know, one of the main things a counselor is charged with doing is when a ninth grader comes in, there's now the 4-year plan
Right.
that every student must have. They also have to complete a portfolio during their time in high school.
And what's in
the
that?
portfolio is now a graduation requirement in our district. They have to complete a couple of career tech inventories that are done online, helping them to do a career profile to help them determine their post-secondary plans. That has to be done now. That's a graduation requirement. But the counselors are there to help with education progress, making sure they have the proper credits, the number of credits, because it's not just 28 credits to graduate. They have to be the right 28
Right.
credits. You can have 36 credits, which is the most you can get. But if you don't have 4 English, 4 math, 4 science, and 4 social studies, you still won't graduate.
Oh my gosh! So they keep pretty close contact with that. So
They have to.
we don't want anybody to show up the day before graduation No, I'm sorry, you don't have the right credits.
Absolutely.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Right. And there's no need for that to
No.
happen now.
Yeah.
But the counselors do stay on top of it. And every year we publish an educational planning guide. In that educational planning guide, of which every student gets a copy, gives the details of everything that's required for a student graduating from high school.
Wow, that's great.
Right. It's just like the old college catalogs.
And I remember in college registering for classes, I had to stand up in a
Right.
line. Now I'm sure they do it online. Well, I know they do it online.
They do.
Oh, would that have been great?
It is. It would be great.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
would be
so easy. Streamline things, get everything ready.
Right.
We're going to talk about transfers when we come back, okay? So stay put, and we'll be right back.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Not only does texting while driving significantly reduce your reaction time, but you are also 10% more likely to leave your lane. This commercial was 30 seconds. That's all it takes to avoid a senseless tragedy.
Hey everybody! Heart disease affects 1 in every 3 women in America, but you can fight back. There's no time to lose. Mothers, sisters, daughters, families, and friends, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change.
Let's go!
To the Batmobile. Dang it.
To the invisible jet! Dang it.
Together, we can put an end to heart disease. It's time to go red for women.
I could use your help.
Learn more from the American Heart Association at www.goredforwomen.org.
Welcome back to Homeroom. So glad you are with us. We're going to talk about transfers in case you have a child that you'd like the child to get a transfer due to a number of things, which we will go over in just a second. Joining me is Terrence Mixon. He is the Executive Director of Student Support Services, and that is one of his big areas. So it's good that you stayed with me. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you go about a transfer, and who can have a transfer?
Well, our district has a pretty liberal transfer policy. Anyone can apply.
Okay.
We do look at things like hardships, medical needs, aftercare, or before care for some of our younger students. This year, our transfers will be just a little bit different in that we're now moving to transfers being done online.
Aha.
Yeah.
But they aren't there yet. We aren't there yet, or we are?
We are
so
there.
You can go ahead and apply for a transfer online.
We actually, the timing is perfect. The online link should be available a week from today.
Okay.
Where parents can log into our site, apply for their transfers, and they will see the schools that have room to receive students. And from that point, they can fill it out. They still will get their answer probably sometime in June or right after school is out. We usually try to have an answer back by June 30th. This year we're going to shoot for a little bit earlier than that. But this again is an effort to rid ourselves of that paper.
No kidding.
And trying to keep up with all of it. And this parents can get a quicker answer or check the status of their transfer a little bit more efficiently.
If I apply for a transfer and I am not granted one, is there an appellate process?
There is. There is. Parents can write a letter and requesting that their transfer be reconsidered.
Okay.
And many times we do go ahead and approve those if that reason kind of rises to the level of us needing to be able to grant that. If for some reason a school is not on the list, then that parent would need to contact us directly. If there's like this extreme need, we would certainly consider those as well. But our plans are to do as many transfers electronically as we possibly can. And one thing I like to say about transfers, if I could, is that for our high schools, we have signature academies next year.
Right.
Anybody who's applying to any of our signature academies We are going to provide transportation.
Okay.
And those transfers are automatically approved.
Wow.
Right. So if you live in one high school zone and you want to go to a different school based on the Signature Academy program they're offering, that will be approved, and we will provide transportation.
Doesn't it amaze you? I mean,
It
how
does.
things are changing, and they're changing quickly, and but thought through completely before you do this,
Right.
and the whole pathway situation is amazing. I don't know what I would have picked. What would you have picked? What?
I'm not sure. You know, at one time I thought I wanted to be a computer person.
Right.
Then I chose music.
Okay.
I did that, and then I ended up being a principal then here.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been different, you know. But with our transfers and with our signature academies, I think it's going to be great. Many times you hear our superintendent talk about the 3 R's, and relevance happens to be one of the things that's so necessary.
Oh, sure.
Kids need to now see the reason why education
Definitely.
is important, and not just going to school for the sake of going to school. And we think the Signature Academies help to make school relevant for students. So
Sure.
anybody watching any program in which they're interested, they can apply for a transfer, and it will be approved, and we will provide transportation.
And it's all of our high schools, and it amazes me what is being offered, what the different academies, and then the different pathways. And I think, I wish I would have had that when I was in school.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting.
I know.
It's going to be very, very
I think it's
exciting.
going to really engage the students. You know, when you can take classes in a subject, an area that you really have a passion for.
Right. It's important to get students to find that niche early on.
Right.
Get them hooked in so that they can develop that passion about coming
Mm-hmm.
to school and about learning, and move on to that next phase in their lives.
Well, and sometimes the kids will be able to get a job right away as soon as they graduate.
Oh, yeah, and we have a few examples of that. Where I'm not sure which school it was, but I know we have 1 or 2 kids that went straight into the welding industry and are doing very, very well.
Very nice salary, the whole
Exactly.
thing.
One, I think, has already bought his first home, and I don't think
Oh
he's
my gosh.
22 years old yet.
And that's incredible.
It is.
So,
It is.
you know, they're students, some need to go to college, want to go to college, and will excel. Some don't want to, and they can get into these other
Oh, yeah,
programs.
and will still excel.
Yeah, oh, and very much so.
Right.
You know, so I just, the whole thing is really exciting. It's changed so much for the better,
It has.
and I love it.
has.
I just
has.
love it.
And I really think that we're on the cutting edge, you know, of offering our parents options
Mm-hmm.
For what they think is important to them, what's important to their children.
Right.
So I'm just excited about the direction that we're heading right
I am
now.
too.
Yeah,
I really
think it's great.
am.
I think it's great.
I wanted to be an astronaut, but they didn't offer that when I was
Well,
a kid.
you know, they have aerospace.
I know. So could I go back to school?
Well, I'm not sure.
Probably not. You know,
I'm not sure.
but that would be fun, I think. What else is going on? This is
Well,
gonna be an
we are
incredible
also,
time for
you know, we're trying to move to the digital world.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many people who need transcripts and
Right.
diplomas,
Mm-hmm.
many times transcripts to go on to college or to jobs. Well, every time a person needs a transcript or a diploma, they have to come out here to the central office. We're trying to move to a situation now where they can apply for those things online and not have to come out here.
I love that online.
Yeah.
That's perfect, online. That is wonderful. I get a lot of those calls. A lot of people call me and say, I need my transcript. What do I do? So then I transfer them to you, or just various things. So that will be wonderful.
Right.
All the
We're
online.
not there yet, but we're working towards it.
That's okay. Do you have a date you're hoping to?
Well, it's going to take about a year.
Okay.
Yeah, for us to plan, you know, because again, it will be an official transcript
Right.
sent off to different places, so we just need to make sure it's correct.
Oh, you bet. This has been delightful. I'm so glad you could come.
Thank you for having me.
Well,
It's
you
always
had
a
a
pleasure.
lot of information.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you for watching and for listening.